People don't understand. I started this journey to be true, to show the reality. You know what I mean? I don't know how to be fake. I don't know how to put on a different face. And I think it's actually so draining to do that. Like, how can you keep up with who you are perpetuating to be? Like, just be yourself. So on this particular vlog, I'm going to talk about what Africans don't want to tell their families back home, and stick with me. Real quick disclaimer, if you don't got time to watch this video, don't be in the comments making stupid comments just based off the title. I really don't like when you guys do dumb stuff like that, okay? If you don't have time to watch the video and let me articulate my point, then don't be in the comments box, okay? These are some of the dope apartments and like executive houses that are in my neighborhood at East Legon for rent. And these are the kind of things, like, you don't ever see this stuff in the mainstream media. You know what I mean? You don't ever see anything going on here, any development, any buildings. So due to the overwhelming positive response to my walking vlogs, which, you know, you guys know I'm a pedestrian here, so I do try to walk when I can. I'm on my way to the gym again. Yes. So we're going to go to the gym. I'm trying to navigate this holiday schedule. Today I want to talk about what Africans don't tell their family members back here in Africa about being abroad. One of the interesting things that I've learned since living here in Ghana is, I mean, obviously there's just a huge communication gap between those in the diaspora and those that are living here, the continental Africans. And one of the things that contributes to this is that the African migrants who move abroad are not honest with their family and friends back on the continent about the reality of living out there, the struggle they're going through, the way that they're treated, their financial problems. They want to kind of portray this image that they have it made and that everything is all good. And this is also part of the reason why when we come here and we try to express to the local people the reality of living outside, it seems so foreign to them because their family members have been giving them the false impression. I've heard the most unbelievable stories, and I'm going to share some of that with you today. So I'm back in my hood. I'm walking to the gym. My gym is probably like maybe a 20-minute walk. I don't ever really keep track because fortunately for me, I don't need to keep track of time here. This is the other side of those houses I was just showing you. So I remember a friend that I made when I lived back in Columbus, Ohio. She was a Ghanaian who had moved to Ohio basically, but she had, you know, her first place that she stopped in the US was New York City. And she said she had this friend of hers, a classmate, who was flexing and flossing on Instagram and all this stuff. This person told her, you know, when you come to the US, I'm going to look after you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And she got herself together, arranged her ticket. And, you know, just for context, she literally sold everything she had in Ghana to afford her ticket to travel. When you are moving from, you know, the continent or maybe other countries, South America, Asia, it takes a lot of currency to equate to the pound or the dollar or the euro. So people literally are selling their family lands. They are liquidating their businesses. They are doing whatever to be able to afford the expense of moving abroad. So anyway, my friend, she did all this stuff. And she said when she got to New York City, she called the friend to come pick her up from the airport. And the friend told her that actually he didn't have a car. And he was scared to come to the airport because he was having immigration problems. And he didn't want to potentially run into the customs people or whatever. So literally she was stranded at the airport for many, many hours. You know, but this guy obviously was giving the impression online that he had made it, and that was what she thought. And so she told me, you know, she cried, she was just devastated, but because of the expense, that, you know, she had to try to figure it out. And I find that that's the case of many, many people that are migrating. They are embarrassed about their circumstances in the West. They have spent great money to move abroad, or they've invested so much that it's like, damn, it's not working out how I wanted it to work out. However, there's no turning back. Also, you know, there's this connotation that when you move abroad that you are rich and so on and so forth, and they also want to embody that. So they also go along with it even if it's not the reality. And in December time, when the diaspora actually comes back for holidays, they also perpetuate this by buying expensive gifts, cars and iPhones, and, you know, doing a lot for like their family and friends. That also upholds this perspective that, oh yeah, I'm living in the West, I've got it made. They're not being honest about what it is that they're really going through. Because realistically, a person would think, well, why would so many Africans still want to travel when they're finding out what it's really like? Well, they're not really finding out. A lot of times by the time they get there is when they're finding out. They didn't find out until they got there. So, since many African people don't want to say, and they don't want to tell, I'm going to go ahead and take up the torch. I really like this landscaping. This is my jump off. I like palm trees. This is lit. I like that. I like that. Wednesday when I get the mansion, guys, my gates might look something like this. It's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and take up the torch to keep it real. And let y'all know what time it is, because this is ridiculous. People literally think they're going to prosperity out there. That's what they literally believe. And they have no concept of like the negative aspects of living out there. So I think we're doing our due diligence by using social media to talk about these things and illuminate the reality. But, you know, it is what it is. We take it day by day, or as we say in Tree, bokor bokor. So anyway, this concludes the end of this vlog. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.